I'm going to explain the text split function and why you continue to get this name error. We're going to separate by column and put only the first, last, ID, city, and state into individual cells. Text split, helpful? I'm going to explain why it's helpful and the time savings that this new tool will incorporate, but it comes with a catch. Stay tuned, I'll explain. Brad Williams, Excel primed. Text split, we're splitting stuff. Separate by comma and put only the first, last, ID, city, state into individual cells. We're splitting. For example, we have this data, Loretta, Bond, it doesn't matter what it is. We're splitting this thing out by comma. Notice there's no spaces. For simplicity, here's the output, B5, comma. All we need to do to split this up, here's our anatomy. What we're going to do, let you split a string into a list or columns or cells in this particular case. We can do this by row, we can do it by column. What are the requirements? We have an input. Our input is B5. Our delimiter, column delimiter, it's column. Means we're going to use this comma. Remember, you have to enclose your delimiter in quotes. We have a row delimiter. We have an ignore empty delimiter. We have a match mode, and we have a pad width. Over here on the right, we have a lengthy, well, semi-lengthy narrative. The text split function divides text into multiple cells based on a specified delimiter. The delimiter is the comma. Text can be split into rows or columns using text split. The output of text split is a list that spills into multiple workout cells. What does that mean? It means you just input this, you leave everything else alone, and it's independent of everything else. In this example, in other words, you're going to have to copy this down in order to complete this task. We just pick this stuff up. The question is, what if you don't have a complete list? Or what if it flows over? Cross that bridge in a bit. We have some requirements here. We have the text split requires 2 of the 5 arguments. What are the arguments? Well, I pointed them out to you. You have input text is 1, column delimiter is 2, ignore empty 3, match mode and pad width. We have 5. We're going to discuss each one of them. The text string to split is the first argument, text. The column delimiter is the delimiter to use when separating text into columns. Third argument, row delimiter, specifies the delimiter used to separate text in the rows. Either column delimiter or row delimiter must accompany the text. You get one or the other. The fourth argument, ignore empty, here, ignore empty, and I miscounted these, sorry. Column delimiter and row delimiter are number 2. 3 would be ignore empty, and they're saying this is 4. 1, 2, 3, all right. Row delimiter is 3. Ignore empty is 4. Ignore empty. The fourth argument, ignore empty, determines how text split handles empty values, which occurs when 2 delimiters appear together with no value in between. Ignore empty is false by default. The text split does not ignore empty values. In practice, this means that an empty value in text will result in an empty cell on the worksheet. The question that I brought up a few seconds ago, I think we just answered. Ignore empty values said ignore empty to true. Match mode, the 5th argument, so there are 6 total, determines case sensitivity when searching for a delimiter. Text split is case sensitive by default, and match mode is 0 to disable case sensitivity. Enter 1, and last, pad width, which is a value that will appear when text split output is a list and value is missing. Similar to the if error, you can employ that. Here we have additional, and this is just reiterating what we just talked about. Read it. I strongly suggest you read all of the narratives. And we have a whole bunch of tutorials within this text split. And I'm going to leave it at that and let you practice, familiarize yourself with various arguments, incorporate different strategies or output Brad Williams, Excel Prime, more to come. Be sure to check out all of our Excel courses. Excel Essentials. This is for individuals new to Excel. We have an advanced, excellent beginners, level 1 and level 2, and intermediate level course. Excel Formulas, formulas only. We have a beginner, an advanced, and an intermediate level course. Click on any of the links. There's a short video that explains everything about the course. Check it out. Mousetrap I'm talking about to use these tools is Excel and Microsoft are going to force us to use their 365 version. Now there's a free online version, but it's limited, so eventually you're going to end up having to pay Microsoft.